All right, we're looking at the R6 video. Our goal here is to determine the asymptotes of a rational function. Because we're going to be graphing, there's going to be two parts, R6A and R6B. And R6A, our whole goal is just to determine the asymptotes of a rational function. So with that, I really want to dive into some vocabulary here. And there's only three words that I want to make sure that we know, right? So the first one is asymptote. Asymptote. This is an invisible line that the graph does not cross. All right, an asymptote, it's an invisible line that the graph does not cross. And there's two different types of asymptotes. We're going to have a vertical asymptote, and this I really want you to know is up and down. And we're also going to look at horizontal asymptote, horizontal. And this one is left and right. All right, so the vertical is going to be up and down, horizontal, left to right. I think of the horizon. If you look at that, the horizon, the sun sets over the horizon. Right? Think about it like that. Okay. So we are going to be looking at all of the rational functions that we're going to look at. Rational functions are going to be in the form of f of x equals a over x minus h plus k. Now this looks a little crazy at first, but if you just follow me along here, we have this x minus h down here. We have an a and a k. The a is gonna come into play later. The k is gonna be our horizontal asymptote, and the h is gonna be our vertical asymptote. All right, so let's dive into this guy. The vertical asymptote, so I'm going to write it like this. The vertical asymptote so the vertical line all right, this is where the function would be undefined. In other words, I can't divide by 0. And so I'm going to find this. I'm going to say it like this. We're going to set denominator equal to 0, and then we're going to solve. All right? So then we're going to say x minus h equals 0, and so x equals h. Right? If you add h to both sides. So that means here there is an invisible vertical line at x equals h. Okay? So whenever we get one of these, we're going to say, oh, x minus h. Take whatever this guy is, set it equal to 0, solve, and then you have your vertical asymptote. Let's take a look at the horizontal asymptote. All right, so this is going to be this. I'm going to call this a midline, so to speak. And what's really nice about that is that it's always going to be in the form of y equals k. All right, so remember, all of this, that k, whatever that k value is going to be my horizontal asymptote. Now let's do an example. So find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Let's take a look. If we had f of x equals 3 over x plus 4 minus 7. All right, so my vertical asymptote, I'm going to write it like this. My vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0. So over here on some scratch, I say x plus 4 equals 0, minus 4, x equals negative 4. So I'd say x equals negative 4. That's my vertical asymptote. And now my horizontal asymptote. Again, horizontal asymptote comes from y equals k. Here's k. K in this instance is a negative 7. So here I get y equals negative 7. And that's it. Let's do another example. What happens if we have f of x equals negative 1 over x, minus 3? That's a minus sign. I'll rewrite that. F of x equals negative 1 over x minus 3. All right, so on my scratch work off to the side, I say x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3. X equals 3. So my vertical asymptote is the line x equals 3. Now, there's no plus anything over here. I don't have like plus 2 or minus 8. And there's no number over here, right? So the k value then is 0. So that means my horizontal asymptote is the line y equals 0. And that's important. All right, so now we know how to find the vertical and the horizontal asymptotes. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to use all these asymptotes and our a value in order to graph. So part B is going to be graphing.